Hello, everybody. March 17th is coming up, and many people around the world celebrate it as St. Patrick's Day. But why is March 17th such a special day? Let's look at some facts. Patrick is recognized by the early Christian church about 1500 years ago to be a saint. He is also the patron saint of Ireland. But what most people don't know is that Patrick wasn't even Irish. He was actually born in Scotland or Wales, sometime in the late 4th century. When he was a teenager, he managed to get himself kidnapped and sold into slavery, and he was sent to Ireland to work as a shepherd. For years, he lived with the Irish, learned their customs and language. One day, he had a strange dream. It showed him a way to escape from Ireland by going to the coast and getting on a ship. The next morning, he woke up and just walked away like in the dream. And just like in the dream, when he got to the coast, he found a ship bound for England and got a ride. Back home in England, he had another dream. In this dream, he was back in Ireland, converting the Irish to Christianity, for at the time, Christianity was not widely practiced in Ireland. The dream excited and scared him. It was exciting because he really wanted to follow the dream and teach Christianity to the Irish, but he was scared because he had had no formal religious training. Remember, he was a slave boy as a shepherd. That's why he quickly left for France and joined a monastery. He studied hard, and after completing his studies, Patrick was ordained as a priest and then in time became a bishop. When Patrick returned to Ireland around 432 AD, he was motivated and believed in his dream. So he traveled throughout Ireland teaching and spreading Christianity. He built churches and he founded schools. He was so successful in his teaching that by the time of his death, March 17th, sometime around 490 AD, Ireland was mostly a Christian nation with churches and schools throughout the country. This is important because by 490 AD, the Roman Empire had collapsed entirely. For the next 1,000 years, the vast Roman Empire's cities, roads, libraries, and schools fell into ruin. But Ireland was not part of the Roman Empire, and having been taught by St. Patrick, they were able to preserve the writings and the history and education from the time of the Roman Empire. When the time came for the Roman Empire to start rebuilding, it was Ireland that helped. This is why St. Patrick is honored on March 17th. So those are the facts of a boy who had a dream and became St. Patrick. As for the legends, well, there's a few. Let's look at two. For one, you'll hear that in his spare time, Patrick drove all the snakes out of Ireland. Okay, that's impressive. Except for one teeny tiny little problem. There were never any snakes in Ireland to begin with. So where does this story come from? Well, scholars think that the basis of the story was the clash that arose between Patrick and his Christian teachings and the teachings of the other Irish religious leaders called the Druids. The Druids were fond of the snake as the symbol of their beliefs, but St. Patrick's teaching of Christianity actually replaced the symbols of the snakes with the symbols of Christianity. But over time, it sounded better just to say Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland, right? And actually, it makes sense. If you go to Scotland, which is just a few miles away from Ireland, there's snakes. If you go to England, a little further away, lots of snakes. If you go to Europe, just a little further from England, lots and lots and lots of snakes. Ireland? No snakes. Yay, Patrick. Another legend explains why on St. Patrick's Day you want to wear something green or risk getting pinched. The legend goes that if you wear green, you're invisible to the leprechauns and fairies. If you don't wear green, the leprechauns and fairies can see you and will pinch you because you are the only thing they can see. So happy St. Patrick's Day and wear something green.